An arrest for murder in Virginia after teens tell authorities an age-old childhood prank, the ding-dong ditch, turned deadly. A high school senior shot to death while doing the stunt, his friends say, for a TikTok video. Now the homeowner, Tyler Chase Butler, arrested and accused of second-degree murder. The Spotsylvania County Sheriff's Office saying in a press release it was 3 a.m. Saturday morning when they got a call for a burglary in progress where shots were fired. Deputies found 2 people with gunshot wounds on the scene. 18-year-old Michael Bosworth Jr. was transported to a local hospital where he died just hours before his high school prom. His stepfather telling me he was a student athlete who played lacrosse, football, and wrestled, now gone. Another teen grazed with a bullet, telling investigators, according to court records, they weren't trying to break into the home to steal anything. They were just ringing doorbells and running away. And a third teen, not shot, telling authorities the same story and showing police a similar video from earlier that night. The question is whether a resident can claim self-defense in such a case.
In Virginia, if you are going to use lethal force, you have to be in fear from the perspective of a reasonable person of bodily harm, great bodily harm, or death.
The sheriff's office saying the Butler is held on no bond at a local jail. We haven't been able to reach him or an attorney. The investigation is still ongoing and may uncover if it really was a ding-dong ditch that led to shots ringing through this neighborhood and a young life lost.
Welcome back to the channel, man. I'm 618Cs, man. Look, so today we checking out, talking about this news story about what happened down in Virginia where it was unfortunate 3 teens were shot. One of them ended up losing his life because they was playing ding dong ditch for TikTok, and we saw what the owner say. So let's check out some more of these news articles and then we're going to talk about it.
A weekend shooting in Spotsylvania County. The entire community is debating the details of the case where 3 teenagers accused of breaking and entering a home on Mackenzie Lane were shot at. 2 of the teens were shot. One of them, a high school senior, killed. Northern Virginia Bureau reporter Drew Wilder explains why this story is drawing so much debate.
Is this the case of a homeowner?
Into a weekend shooting in Tonight, an investigation into a weekend shooting in Spotsylvania County. The entire community is debating the details of the case where 3 teenagers accused of breaking and entering a home on Mackenzie Lane were shot at. 2 of the teens were shot. One of them, a high school senior, killed. Northern Virginia Bureau reporter Drew Wilder explains why this story is drawing so much debate.
Is this the case of a homeowner defending their property legally against potential burglars? Or is this a case of a TikTok prank gone horribly wrong? Maybe it's even a little bit of both. These are the questions prosecutors here at the Spotsylvania County Courthouse are trying to answer tonight. And at the heart of all of this mystery and all of the speculation taking place on social media, a teenager is dead. And his family tells me that their lives feel shattered. 18-year-old Michael Bosworth Jr. was a senior at Massaponax High School in Spotsy. His stepfather says Michael played lacrosse, football, and he wrestled. But at about 3 a.m. Saturday, just hours before the high school prom later that night, Michael was shot and killed by a homeowner on Mackenzie Lane. The homeowner, who has not been named nor charged with any crime, says Michael and 2 other teens tried to break into their house. News 4 knocked on the door of the home, but no one answered. Tonight, the Spotsylvania County Commonwealth's attorney is reviewing the evidence to determine if charges are appropriate or if this was a justifiable shooting. But here's where this story takes a turn. So there were 3 teens involved. Michael was shot and killed. A second teen, 17 years old, was grazed by a bullet. While that teen was in the hospital, detectives interviewed him. He said, "We weren't breaking in to try to steal anything." He told the detective they were doing ding-dong ditch pranks, recording them as videos. They were going to post them on TikTok. So that detective went and found the third teen that was involved. That teen wasn't shot. He wasn't injured in any way. But that teen had the exact same alibi and even said, "Here, take my cell phone. You'll find a video that we recorded at a different house doing the same prank earlier that night." The Spotsylvania County Sheriff's Office has not said whether or not that alibi checks out, but of course, we'll let you know as soon as we learn more. Reporting in Spotsy, Drew Wilder, News 4.
All right. So for me, it was more of a case of ding dong ditch gone wrong for real, because, kids gonna be kids. And I understand in the climate that we in the world we in, that anything can happen. And he may have thought that somebody was kicking in his door. But I just don't understand how he go from thinking somebody kicking in his door if they was just ringing the doorbell, and how you go from thinking somebody kicking in your door to chasing 3 kids down the street. So, and you heard what the lady said about the law. You know, if maybe if this was Florida or Texas, maybe, just maybe, it could go different. But you know, like in the states that I live in and where this happened at, in the state that this happened in Virginia, you have to have a reasonable fear of your life. And I just don't see how that bro could be able to prove that he was in fear of his life. You know what I'm saying? According to this, you know, I hate to say it, but I just don't see how he can explain being in fear of his life and he was the one doing the chasing. Now, was these kids wrong? Yeah, but a lot of times teenagers gonna be teenagers and we do a lot of silly stuff. And you know, nowadays people do anything for the clout, they do anything for the gram, they do anything for the top. So it's going sometimes these things happen. But this ain't the first time that somebody has been murdered over prank videos and pranks for social media and things like that. So let's take a look back to a couple years, right? And this was just a year ago. The DoorDash driver who shot a kid at the mall, he was found not guilty of doing it. But see, there was a big difference to me, in my personal opinion. There's a big difference in what happened at the mall with that mall prank video and this house prank video. So I just want to show y'all right quick this mall prank video.
Prankster at Dulles Town Center, you can see right there, has been released from jail. We were there this afternoon as Alan Coley walked out of the Loudoun County Adult Detention Center, greeted by his attorney. Coley spent 8 months behind bars, convicted of unlawful discharge of a firearm. He shot Tanner Cook back in April. You might remember this. Cook was engaging with Coley at the shopping center as Cook recorded a prank video for his YouTube channel. We spoke with a woman who says she was once victimized by one of Cook's pranks, and she testified at Coley's trial.
I am elated for Mr. Coley. I know he's got a long road ahead of him. His life has been ruined, but hopefully he can have a fresh start now.
Yeah, the fresh start seems to be what Coley is now seeking. His attorney says Coley plans to move to a new community. As for Tanner Cook, he has recovered from his gunshot wound and he continues to post his prank videos.
So with this case, right, it's more so like he was trying to get away. This guy was really trying to get away from everything that was going on. He was trying to get away. He feared, and then he just pulled out his gun and he shot. And like they said, this kid he had a history of just doing stuff to people. But I just don't see how like they were infringing or pressing that man to the point where he needed to fire at him, you know. And I get that they did call and say it was a burglary in progress, but I wonder if that call went out before or after the shooting, you know, because it was several calls that went out. But I just don't think, you know, I hope that everybody can find peace in this situation. And I hope that, you know, those kids that did survive, they can make a safe recovery and things like that. But I just feel like the brother made a grave mistake, man. He made a bad mistake. And sometimes we gonna have to answer for the mistakes that we make, especially when we reacting out of emotion, you know. And I think that he just reacted out of emotion and he made a bad decision. And it was a bad decision that might cost him some years of his life, some jail time, you know. So it says USA Today reports that he was charged with, let me find it right quick. USA Today reports that he was charged with second-degree murder, malicious wounding, 2 counts of use of a firearm in the commission of a felony, police said. He was arraigned on May 7th and is set to have a preliminary trial hearing on June 18th. So that's what it is right there, man. Let me know what y'all think about this unfortunate situation. Do you think it was a self-defense and a man just defended his home? Or was it just a tragic incident and a case of ding dong ditch gone wrong? Let me know. I'm 618Cs, man. You know my saying, man. If don't nobody tell you they love you, man, I love you. If don't nobody tell you they want to see you win, come on, man. You know I want to see you win, man. Have a good day. I appreciate y'all, man. I'm out.